Have you ever thought about how just one single event totally out of the blue can just change a whole family dynamic?
Yeah, it really makes you think. Everything you thought was solid can suddenly shift.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're diving into today. It's the story about loss, yes, but also about how it pulls people together in ways you'd never expect. We're talking a husband, his young daughter, and, well, his mother-in-law.
Mm. The source material here is quite compelling. Comes from a YouTube channel, Cochin Dim Kuya, and a specific video about mother-in-law Mogatintitin.
Great.
And our goal, really, in this deep dive is to kind of trace how their relationships evolve after this huge tragedy. Look at the unspoken stuff, the feelings bubbling under the surface.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. We have Hung and Hong living in the city. Her parents are about, what, 30 kilometers away?
Something like that. And because life's busy, you know how it is, they don't visit often.
Which is tough on their daughter, Bayon. She misses her grandparents.
Yeah, and Hoon senses some tension maybe between her parents, too. So she plans this weekend visit, trying to, smooth things over, bring everyone together.
A classic move, trying to mend fences. But that first family meal, it doesn't quite go to plan, does it? It gets tense.
No, it really doesn't. And it's a reminder, isn't it, how these gatherings can sometimes just bring underlying issues right to the surface.
Totally. So the visit happens, maybe a bit strained, and then Hung has to leave early the next morning for work. She leaves B in there, promises to come back.
A seemingly normal departure, just heading back to the city.
But it's not normal. That drive, it turns tragic. There's a sharp curve, a truck speeding, the road's slippery.
Just a horrible combination of factors.
And Hung, she doesn't make it. She's killed in the accident.
Oh, awful. Just awful.
The news obviously devastates Hong and Hung's mother, Banwet. Hong just rushes to the hospital.
And finds out the worst. While Banwei, when she hears, she just collapses. Pure shock and grief.
And right in the middle of it all, little Bayon is asking for her mom. Medaroy, where's mommy? Just heartbreaking.
That innocent question just cuts right through everything. It really highlights the chaos grief throws into a family, especially for a child.
Yeah. And Hong's suddenly facing this immense task, grieving himself, trying to work, and caring for a daughter who's just lost her mother.
It's an impossible situation, really. And that void, that need, that's where Ben Guait steps in.
Right. She decides to move in with Hong and Bayon to help.
Which is, a huge decision, but often what families do, they rally. She provides that essential care for Bayon, keeps Hoon's memory present in the house.
And this goes on for 3 years. She becomes this constant presence. She brings warmth back, stability.
Absolutely. It shows that resilience, finding a way to cope, to rebuild some semblance of family life.
But then things start to change. Slowly. Subtly. And maybe in ways that feel uncomfortable or unexpected, at least. This is where it gets really complex.
It really does. You start seeing these little shifts, particularly in Ban Guet. It's like a sort of reemergence.
How so?
Well, after years focused probably just on grief and looking after Bayon, she starts noticing herself again. Small things. Loosening her hair, maybe glancing at some lipstick, catching her reflection.
Interesting. A shift from caregiver back to, well, to herself.
Exactly. The story mentions she feels too young, which suggests, life isn't over. Maybe there's still needs, desires, even after all this time.
And does Hoang notice this change?
It seems he does. He starts seeing her, well, differently. Not just as his mother-in-law, the grandmother.
Okay.
He notices her, maybe the kitchen or her scent, how she looks in the moonlight. He actually compliments her, tells her she looks younger, more beautiful.
Wow, that's a big step. How does she react?
She's surprised, flustered. It clearly registers. It's a change in their dynamic for sure.
You have to wonder what's driving that on his side. Grief, proximity, loneliness.
Probably a mix of all those things. They're sharing this intense loss, living together day in, day out.
Yeah.
That creates a bond, right? Maybe he's seeking comfort, appreciation.
And finds it in her. And for her, these compliments may be combined with hearing things from neighbor.
Right. The story mentions male neighbors making suggestive comments at the park, which makes her uncomfortable, but maybe also aware.
Aware that she's being seen differently, that maybe she has changed.
Exactly. It forces her to confront this shift. And then Ho-Hang expresses concern for her, says she looks different, and their eyes meet. There's this tension.
Undeniable tension.
Yeah.
And it affects her deeply. She has sleepless nights.
Replaying it all, feeling guilty maybe, but also something else. This leads her to search for adult films online.
Wow. Okay, So a real internal struggle, a kind of awakening.
A definite awakening.
Yeah.
Physical, emotional, she feels shame, the story says, because of, the context, the taboo,
Yeah.
but also alive.
Alive. That's a powerful word after so much grief. It's complicated.
Deeply complicated, but very human, too. These needs don't just vanish because of tragedy or age.
So the next morning, she consciously dresses more attractively.
Seems that way. And Hoang notices. He's visibly affected. The unspoken thing between them is definitely escalating now.
And everyday life just keeps throwing them together. Bayon wants to go to the park.
So they go, the three of them, and Hoang praises Bungwit's parenting again. But she sees something different in his eyes this time.
The subtext is getting louder.
Very much so. Another evening, he sees her reading, just comments on her beauty again. She gets flustered again.
More sleepless nights for her, wrestling with these feelings for her son-in-law.
It's a huge internal conflict. Then another compliment from Hoang. She feels this mix of embarrassment, but also maybe pride. Sweetness.
It's blurring the lines completely. Then she tries on an old white dress.
Yeah, like she's testing it out,
Hmm.
feeling attractive, maybe thinking specifically of Hoang.
And then he comes home unexpectedly for lunch.
Right? And he sees her. In the dress, he's captivated, notices the details. Lunch is apparently quite awkward. He's flustered.
I bet. Even doing the dishes becomes charged. Their hands touch.
And they share this look, both flustered. More sleepless nights fall for both of them. The tension is just palpable.
You can almost feel it building. It seems like something has to give.
And it does. A sudden storm hits. Heavy rain.
Forces them outside together, right, to get the laundry.
Exactly. A very domestic, ordinary task. But in that moment, Huang is struck by your appearance again. Simple clothes, rain on her skin. It feels intimate.
Vulnerable, maybe?
Perhaps. They sit together waiting for the rain to stop. And he takes her hand.
Finally says it out loud.
Yes. He says how much things have changed since she moved in, how much she means to them, but also how beautiful he finds her, not just as his mother-in-law.
Wow. The unspoken becomes spoken.
Completely. She's speechless, overwhelmed.
And then,
He moves closer, kisses her. Gently at first, the story says, but then passionately.
and she kisses him back.
She does. It's the turning point. The boundaries crossed.
This leads to, well, a physical relationship.
Yes. The narrative describes it carefully, not explicitly, but focusing on the intimacy, the breaking down of barriers, maybe finding some kind of comfort or release in each other.
But afterwards, the reality hits. For Bangwit, at least.
Oh, yeah. Relief, maybe, in some way, but also deep unease, guilt. She goes to Hum's altar
Oh, wow.
and talks to her daughter. Tears, confusion, expressing this need she felt, this need to feel loved, appreciated again, admits her feelings.
That's incredibly raw. Does Homang know?
He overhears it, her tearful confession, which you can imagine just adds another layer of conflict for him, too.
So they're living with this secret now. Life goes on day to day.
It does. They continue caring for Bayon, but the atmosphere between them has changed, obviously. There are these small moments now, comfort, connection.
Does the little girl, Bayon, pick up on anything?
The story suggests she senses a closeness. Maybe not what it is, but that something is different between them.
And the intimacy continues. Small gestures.
Yes. Hoang gently kissing Bungwet's hair. One evening, holding her, confessing he can't stop thinking about her. They find solace in each other.
Their bond, however unconventional, is deepening. They are functioning as a family unit for Bayon.
Very much so. Her well-being remains the focus.
But the outside world, it doesn't just disappear, right? Societal norms are still there.
Absolutely. Hoang overhears other parents at school pickup or wherever, wondering why he hasn't remarried yet. That pressure.
Does he talk to Banwei about it?
He does. He actually asks her, point blank, if she thinks he should remarry.
Oh, that's putting her on the spot. How does she respond?
She kind of masks her own feelings, says maybe it would be good for him, good for Ban, playing the role expected of her, perhaps.
But then Hoang says something quite significant, doesn't he?
He does. He expresses his worry about finding someone new who can truly love Bae-An, like Bangui does.
Oof, that must hit her hard.
Deeply. It underscores how intertwined their lives are, how essential she is to Bae-An, and maybe to him too, in ways that go beyond their affair.
So she's left wrestling with this. Her feelings, Bae-An's needs, what society thinks. What should she do?
It's an impossible position, really. And the story doesn't give an easy answer. There isn't a neat resolution.
No dramatic confrontation or split.
No. Instead, there's a moment with Bae-An. She says she wants them to always stay together, all three of them.
Innocent but profound.
Right. And Home and Bungwe just share this look, a knowing look,
Yeah.
and they reassure her.
So they just carry on.
To carry on, living together, prioritizing Bayan's happiness above everything else. It acknowledges their situation's unconventional, absolutely,
Yeah.
but it also suggests that maybe happiness, maybe a loving home, doesn't always fit the standard mold.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it's a really intense story, full of ethical questions, complex emotions,
Definitely. What really stands out is how powerfully grief can just reshape everything, our lives, our relationships in ways we just don't see coming.
and how human connection can bloom in the most unexpected, maybe even forbidden places.
Exactly. It forces us to think about what family really means and how far people will go to protect a child's well-being.
It leaves you with some big questions, doesn't it? Like, where are the boundaries of family? Are they fixed?
Or how does something like profound loss maybe change our moral compass, our understanding of relationships?
Yeah. And what actually makes a home loving and supportive? Is it the structure or something else entirely? Especially when it looks different from the outside.
These aren't easy questions,
Hmm.
and the story doesn't give easy answers.
No, it doesn't. So we really encourage you, the listener, to think about your own take on this. Consider the nuances, the shades of gray.
Yeah, try to look beyond just simple judgment. See the human beings caught in this incredibly difficult situation.
It's a powerful reminder of the complexities of the human heart, especially in the face of loss and love.